Wow, I wasn't expecting such a good reception to the live stream the other night, and I certainly wasn't planning on having that much fun either. Definitely that is something I'm going to consider making a regular thing for the channel. But guys, next time less personal questions and more questions about deduction. Sound fair? Man, it's like someone twisting a knife in my shoulder really, really slowly. Anyway, moving on, the results came in from the poll from the last video you'll be delighted to hear, and it is clear that knowledge base is definitely what you guys are lacking in. So rest assured, despite this being another observational video, this is merely a video following up my last one. And I've got some videos lined up for the future, and a secret project that I'm not going to go into now that I'm working on that will help you build up your knowledge base. With that being said, let's jump into 2 observational training exercises that will help retrain your brain to not only be always on the lookout, but improve your memory recall of what you have observed. So, pop quiz. I have 2 questions for you. Round 2. 1. Do you think that stubbing your toe and running into a wall could ever help your observational abilities? And 2. Is there any possibility that Sharon Ford won't turn this footage of me illustrating what I just said into a humiliating remix? To the second question, I can only say, well, we'll just have to see. But to the first, I can definitely say yes. Okay, so the first training exercise I call the leap of faith. Now, I don't recommend actually leaping, but I'm sure you get the idea. If you feel rather classy and have an affinity for solving crimes and that aspect of deduction, you can call it the Walk of Justice, in reference to Lady Justice, who is, well, blindfolded. Yeah, that reference was a bit of a stretch, I know, but it's okay, let's move on. Basically, it is as simple and difficult as it looks. It involves finding an environment with various obstacles, or rearranging an environment to have obstacles, looking at it for as long as you need, and then blindfolding yourself to walk around and try not to hit anything. You can use anything really to blindfold yourself, like a shirt or something. I just take a beanie and pull it over my eyes. Now, despite what it might seem like at first glance, I'm not training you all to be an army of daredevils or with radar hearing and whatnot. We aren't trying to redirect the sensory input from the ears to the visual cortex here. No. See, what we're trying to do is rely on our memory. Obviously, you will have had to observe your environment to know where all the obstacles are. But you have to have a good memory to know where all those obstacles are once the blindfold is on. Teaching you both observation and memory recall, with the added benefit of, shall we say, negative reinforcement. Every time you stub your toe or walk into a wall, you're telling your brain, oh snap, there are painful consequences for not being observant and retaining those observations, which helps the brain to learn the skill faster because the less pain, the better. As you get better, you can start to increase the difficulty by adding things in the environment that you have to interact with. Maybe, now on top of avoiding the dinner table, now you have to pull out one of the chairs and sit down. And then get to smaller things that you have to manage, like moving a cup of water from one place to another in your environment. And eventually you can get to something as ambitious as rearranging a cluttered desk blindfolded. Simple enough, right? Now the next exercise is similar in the sense that it trains both observation and memory recall. I will admit that this is one that I've only just started implementing, but it is based on the same principles as other techniques that I know of that work. This one is a blind drawing game. Now, if you're not artistically inclined or talented in any way, shape, or form, that's okay. There is an alternative form of this exercise just for you, just so long as you can write. Now take an environment, a room, a table, a desk. Probably best to start with something small like a desk rather than jump into a whole room. But essentially, I bet you can already guess where this is going. What you're going to do is observe the environment for as long as you need, scan it up and down, and really sear that image into your brain as much as possible. Then look away, and if you have to, go to another room if you're tempted to cheat, and solely from memory, draw everything that you can remember. If you can't draw, simply write down every object that you can remember, as much of a description of it as possible, as well as its placement. Then compare the picture you drew or the description you wrote to the actual environment. I'm pretty sure it'll be quite disconcerting for many of you at first. It was for me, and I'm just starting to try it out. Because we think we remember things and what they look like until we actually put that to the test. Remember, it is one thing to observe, it's another thing to remember what we observed. And of course, for all of you who want to increase the difficulty of either of these techniques, you can always impose a time limit for observing. Over time, these techniques will train you to quickly scan your environment and remember what you observed with vivid detail. So, since I really liked the polling feature that I used last time, I'm going to do that again. This time, I want to know what you think of the future of live streaming for this channel. Were you there for the last live stream and want to see more? Were you not there but still like the idea? Or were you there but much prefer me as a floating head as opposed to an actual person and never want to see me live stream again? Click on that info card to take the survey. With that, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you're new here and you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe. If you learned something today, give this video a like. If you would like to support the channel financially, you can donate via Patreon. And of course, all comments are appreciated and I will do my best to answer any and all questions. With that, all you aspiring detectives out there, arrivederci.